Arsenal fans, how are we feeling? Are we worried? This weekend, I have to admit, we were poor against Villa, where we conceded in the 95th minute to lose the game. Not only that, City won, so Arsenal's gap at the top of the table has gone down to 2 points, which, it is fair to say, is the most pressure a team has put on us this season. For the majority of the season, Arsenal have looked untouchable, but now the discourse online states that Man City will probably win the Premier League. Is that the truth, or is reality somewhere in between? Whilst results win games, I do think over the course of a season, a performance usually wins titles. For example, at the start of the season, Liverpool were winning games but putting in poor performances, and eventually the results caught up with that, and they were obviously found out, and now have dropped down to, I think, 11th. So, in my opinion, there are only 2 games where Arsenal have been the worst team, showing lack of performance in that aspect. Yes, there are games where Arsenal necessarily haven't performed to their ability. So, for example, Chelsea, it was a poor performance, but in Chelsea away, I don't actually think Arsenal deserve to lose the game. So what I'm saying, there's only 2 games this season where I think Arsenal have come out as the actual complete worst team. Those 2 games are Manchester United at the start of the season at Old Trafford and Aston Villa on Saturday. When you look around the league, there are plenty of poor performances where City have been the worst team, for example. In the Fulham game, a clearance off the line by Gvardiol stops Fulham getting a point in that game. In the Leeds game, these are the last 3 games Premier League games for City. Leeds had a chance, obviously, to get a point in the 93rd minute. Foden scores the winner, and to be fair, the performance was quite good in that Leeds game from City, but defensively they do look shaky and like you can get at them. Compare that to the games that we've dropped points in this season. You look at the Sunderland 2-2 draw, a fairly even game. The Liverpool 1-0 loss, again, a fairly even game that was decided by a wonderful Dominic Szoboszlai free kick. And the City draw, to be honest, we started out the first half poorly, but we were the better team in the second half, so the game was pretty even. Now let's look at the recent downturn in results. Let's be honest, we are missing key players like Gabriel and Saliba, and who wouldn't? They are the league's best centre-back pairing, and any team would miss players of that calibre. It's fair to say you can't have one of your main centre-halves go out injured over the course of a season at one time. To have both of them at once is a bit unheard of, to be honest. But Saliba looks like he's back soon. If he comes back, he can partner Hincapié, and I think results can take an upturn. What is an issue for Wolves, obviously, is we are going to be out without Ricardo Calafiori, meaning Miles Lewis-Skelly's going to have to come in an already misshapen back line and hopefully put in a good performance. I think that the Champions League, we've got 5 wins from 5. It is now about risk management in that competition. We're not going to go outside of the top 8. I think on Wednesday it's important to rest key players, rest Declan Rice especially, and hopefully Yuri Timber if we can. Their load has been quite heavy at the moment, and I think it's important to try and give these key players a rest. I'd like to see Norgar start instead of Zubimendi. Give Zubimendi a bit of a day off, because in the last game against Villa, Zubimendi did look extremely off it, tired-wise. So what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is don't despair, because Man City are not the Manchester City of old. They're not the team that hunted us down 2 years ago. They are to be got at. They are not the best team in the world currently. They've got the best striker in the world and the best goalkeeper in the world. Of course they're going to get points. Foden's now hitting some form. But as a team, they're not defensively strong enough to necessarily win a league title. You look at Jurgen Klopp's teams of the past. Whilst he was a great manager, the reason they didn't win as much is because Manchester City, whilst they were the better team in Man City were the better team, Man City had an aspect of control which Liverpool did not have under Jurgen Klopp. Now, Arsenal have that control, and it's shown over 38 games. Usually, that controlling games, the dominance, the performance does come to forth, and the actual team with the control usually wins. I also haven't seen enough to say that Arsenal aren't still the best team in the league. They're 2 points clear. Performances have shown that we can fight it with the best. We're just going through a bit of a rough patch, and injuries are a problem at the moment. Now, we do need these players back. We do need Saliba back. We need Gabriel back when he can. We need a full fit squad. Kai Havertz would really help right now. I think Arteta is making certain mistakes. For example, I don't think Mikel Merino should be starting football matches as a striker for Arsenal. But could he come in and deputise as Rice is back up when Rice is injured? Sure. So let's just stick together. Let's continue believing Arsenal aren't a bad side. They haven't become a bad side overnight. We can win this league. Let's just keep the faith. A title is never won before Christmas, but it can be lost. Arsenal need to make sure this doesn't have a blip on the whole season. They need to get back to winning ways against Wolves, because that's the priority match, not this Champions League midweek game against Bruges. And let's get back to a consistent run where we go 18 unbeaten. This season, there is nothing to say that we shouldn't have faith in the manager, the players, or this team. So we have shown resilience over the course of the last 18 games. And we need to level up that performance again and get some energy from somewhere. It's time that Arsenal are finally the bride and not the bridesmaid. Good times are coming. Do not worry. Don't lose the faith. Back the team and the manager who have given us so much. They will not give up fighting. Let's get that reward at the end. Come on, Arsenal.